wore this shirt because it matches my hat.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Society Hall. Pardon me while I call up a list of our upcoming shows here. I usually do this before I get up here, but you know. Anyway, so lovely to have you with us tonight. It's going to be a beautiful night of music, and we're just very excited about the show tonight, but we've got a bunch of stuff coming up, too, that we're excited about. There's a really wild and crazy bunch of music coming here on May 3rd. It's Friday, next Friday, basically. They're an ensemble of players that specialize in some various types of world music, mainly sort of stuff that's clustered around the eastern end of the Mediterranean Sea, like Greek and Turkish and Balkan music, and various sort of Middle Eastern stuff. It's wild. It will like rearrange your musical DNA. I mean, they have notes in that music that we don't have notes like that in our music. They're really great. They're incredible players. The group is called Radio Free Basanda. And they played here last year, and I think everybody loved them. I certainly did, and you know, I really would recommend if you're looking for something that's slightly off the beaten path. They'll knock your socks off, and they're a lot of fun. So anyway, that's a cool thing. On May 12th, excuse me, we're going to do a benefit for our dear friend Bob Phillips. Bob is a local musician, but he's also the proprietor of Light Shine Music over there. And Bob is one of those guys that is just an angel to just about everybody he crosses paths with. He's always helping people out. He's always doing stuff for free. He's always doing whatever he can do to help the community in general, and particularly the musical community. But he's been through a lot of health issues here lately and is still in the middle of it, and he's had a whole bunch of other stuff going on, and he could really use a hand. So we're going to have an afternoon and evening of music, and ask for donations for Bob. It's going to start at 4 o'clock. That's May 12th. That's Mother's Day, so you can, you know, go out to dinner and or go out to brunch, and then come over here and have fun. We'll have some food, and of course there'll be drink available if you want it, and a whole bunch of good music. We're going to have Ron DeShonaker and Charlie Johnson, or Rendezvous as they call themselves, and Waverly Road, Scott Russell and company, and Old Scratch, and then Bob's band Blue Sky is going to play also with a little help from our brother Robert back there at the sound mixing board. Is going to fill in for Bob on that. So that'll be a real special day. May 25th, there's going to be some cowboy poetry going on here. Dennis Russell is a cowboy poet. He's rounded up 4 other poets, and they're going to do a night of cowboy poetry and music. There'll be some music involved too. But anyway, that's going to be a very cool thing. June 5th, dear friend Susan Gibson is going to be here. And June 5th, Patsy O'Brien, wonderful Irish musician, will be back. He's played here last year and just blew everybody away. June 20th, Michael Hearn in South by Southwest. What a treat to have them here. June 23rd, an even bigger treat if possible. Verlin Thompson is going to be here. Verlin was Guy Clark's right-hand man, accompanist, and also co-writer of a bunch of stuff. An incredible guitarist, incredible guy. So anyway, it goes on and on. You can check the Society Hall website for stuff coming up. And as always, we deeply appreciate you being here. It's what allows us to keep going and keep the heat on, which we need tonight. You know, got to be winter again. But anyway, tonight's going to be a wonderful show with George Ensle, who will be up after a bit. But we're going to start out the show with my dear friend Fred Hargrove here, that has graciously agreed to come and play a little bit. I'm going to pick along with him and try not to screw anything up too bad. And we'll start it out, and we're just going to do a short set, and then we're going to bring George up and sort of finish out the first set. So Fred will do half a set, George will do half a set. Then we'll take a real break, and then George will come back for another set. So, and you know, he's got lots of merch and things like that to look at during the break. So, oh, and one more thing. Fred and his business partner Claude, who are making hats. Tell me the name of your what's the name of the company again?
High Lonesome Hat Company.
High Lonesome Hat Company. Yeah, sorry.
Fed Claude sitting back there.
Yeah, he came.
He's styling, wearing one of his hats. I'm wearing one of his hats.
Well, and
guess
you know,
and
a few in the last few years, the topic has come up among me and my wife and some friends. It's you know, you should get a hat. You know, it's because the top of my head is not getting any prettier as I get older, and I thought, well, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. But then, you know, the good Lord works in mysterious ways. When Fred and Claude came over and said, we want to build you a hat. And so they did. And so, you know, I've never been a hat guy, but we're going to start, I guess.
This is his debut, folks. Get ready.
But I gotta figure out how to change instruments while wearing it. That's gonna be the main thing. But they've made this really an object of beauty and art. I mean, it is just a beautiful piece of work and handiwork and art. So, anyway, we'll see how it works. You know. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. So, it looks good from this side. I don't, you know. So anyway, what are we going to play, Fred?
Well, you know what, I made a set list, and that's just a suggestion because I'm already changing it with the first song. We spent a lot of time on the Rio Grande Scenic Railroad. A lot of you guys know that. And we had a blast
oh, absolutely.
over a decade of a lot of playing on the train.
Some of the funnest times I have ever had.
We did the jam in the club car, which was amazing with all the different guests that came along. But I thought I'd better kick it off with a railroad song, and this was written by Jimmy Rogers. It's called Waiting for a Train, and it seemed to fit what Don and I did quite a few times. You ready, Don? Well, all around that water tank, waiting for a train, 1,000 miles away from home and sleeping in the rain. I walked up to that old brakeman, gave him a line of talk. He said, if you got money, we'll see that you don't walk. Oh, but I haven't got a nickel, nor a penny can I show. He said, get off your railroad bum. He slammed that boxcar door. Oh, delay, delay, delay. So he dropped me off in Texas. It's a place that I truly love. Wide open spaces around me, the moon, the stars above. Nobody seems to want me or lend me a helping hand. Well, I'm on my way from Frisco, headed back to Dixieland. But my pocketbook is empty, my heart is filled with pain. I'm 1,000 miles away from home and waiting for a train. Yes, I'm 1,000 miles away from home and waiting for a train. Everybody yodel. Odelay, oh, hey-delay, hey-delay. Odelay, oh, hey-delay, hey-delay. Take us out. Waiting for a train. That was fun. That was good. We'll see you. Well, I write a few songs, have over the years, and I seem to like writing songs about the valley. So how many of you all noticed that great big beautiful moon there for like several nights in a row just recently? Unbelievable, wasn't it? So I'm going to hog it for a while, but I'll make up for it in the end. I wrote a song called Alamosa Vista Moon, because that's where I live. Oh, Alamosa Vista Moon shines on San Luis Valley. The silhouettes the sand wants to the west. A Colorado breeze comes singing through the trees, making my Rocky Mountain home one of the best. Oh, way up high here in Colorado, where the Rio Grande runs clear, pure and clean. So I tell you all that I know, it's the closest place to heaven that I've seen. Cowboys still ride out on our open range here, and eagles still so wild and free. You can see where God's hands have truly blessed this land. It's beauty cleansing the spirit inside of me. Oh, way up high here in Colorado, where the Rio Grande runs clear, pure and clean. So I tell you all that I know, it's the closest place to heaven that I've seen. Yes, it's the closest place to heaven we've all seen. Oh, Alamosa Moon shines on San Luis Valley. Thank you, Don.
Thank you, Fred. Mighty fine.
Well, here's another one I wrote. I see my friends the Bittens sitting on almost the front row. I wrote a song up on Rock Creek, west of Monte Vista, up in the mountains there. And I named it Colorado, You're Where I Belong. And then the Bittens, I found out, lived right up there, close to where I wrote it. So I gave them the song. It's now called the Bittens Song. It goes like this. Indian summer, I'd like to say, I'm sitting outside on this beautiful day, and not a leaf moving, no clouds in our sky. Way up above, a big jet's flying by. 1st of November, I try to remember that old magpie up here in the timber. Oh, and life keeps moving, moving along. I sat up there on Rock Creek, I wrote this song. Oh, Colorado, you're where I belong. Mother Nature, she paints her masterpiece. She's always changing, she never sleeps. Aspen trees, ponderosa pine, and red rock canyons I've been lucky to find. Well, there goes a mule deer, a little chipmunk sneaks a peek. I found paradise up on old Rock Creek. Oh, and life keeps moving, moving along. Sat up there on Rock Creek, wrote this song. Oh, Colorado, you're where I belong. Where you belong. The Bitten Song.
Mighty pretty, Fred, mighty pretty.
Thank you. So, if you all are friends with Don on Facebook, which I know a lot of us are, he gives the daily sunrise report, and we love that.
It comes up just about every day. I mean, it's amazing. It's pretty dependable.
And he keeps track of where it is coming up over the sand grays there, so I really enjoy that. And it goes along with a song I wrote. Let's see. Put on my finger picks. I got up one morning. I thought, you know what? I'm just going to write a song about what I witness watching the sunrise. And this is what I came up with. I watch that sun come rising from behind the sand gray mountains and quickly hide behind a cloud on its uphill climb. It's a chilly start for April. I thank the Lord that I'm able to watch this new day begin. I'm glad I took the time. magpie on my porch to greet me. Suddenly I understand completely that his thoughts and mine, they're really quite the same. Oh, we're happy to be living this day that we've been given, and as we go our separate ways, well, our friendship, it will remain. And I realize that it's come my time to fly. Ain't gonna let another day go slipping by. I'm gonna get up off of my chair, go let the wind blow through my hair, and get something done with my life. I sat there in Colorado, gazing out my picture window. The warmth of that springtime sun, it penetrates me to my soul. My eyes are now wide open, I'm filled with joy and I'm hoping I found a brighter path, so life won't take its toll. And my friends, if you're hearing me, don't let yourselves be weary. Grab some power from the sun to help your day begin. It's born from divine design, a special gift of yours and mine. Oh, you'll find it right there waiting to heal your spirit from within. Realize that it's come your time to fly. Don't let another day go slipping by. Go on, get up off of that chair, go let the wind blow through your hair, and get something done with your life. I want to get something done with my life. Lord, help me get something done with my life. Get something done, I guess is the name of that. Thank you.
Mighty fine, mighty fine.
So I was trying to think of what might be fun for me to kind of surprise Don and play something new, if I can remember it. And this is what I'm going to throw on him tonight. I got a couple more songs. Then we're going to get George out here, but I'll tell you what, I'm a kind of an old Southern rock guy. I always loved the Southern rockers, you know, Charlie Daniels, Leonard Skinner, Marshall Tucker Band, and the Allman Brothers. And a song that Greg Allman wrote that I've always found really interesting is called Melissa. And I'm going to try it tonight. We'll see what happens. Crossroads seem to come and go. Yeah, the gypsy flies from coast to coast. Oh, knowing many and loving none. Bearing sorrow, having fun. Oh, but back home he'll always run to sweet Melissa. Freight train always looks the same, all the same. And no one knows the gypsy's name, and no one hears his lonely sigh. There are no blankets where he lies. All his deepest dreams, the gypsy flies with sweet Melissa. Again the morning's come, again he's on the run. Sunbeam shining through his hair, up here and not to have a care. Pack up your gear and gypsy roll on, roll on. Crossroads, you ever let him go, Lord, Lord? Or will you hide the dead man's ghost? Or will he lie beneath the clay? Or will the spirit float away? But I know that he won't stay without Melissa. Oh, but I know that he won't stay without Melissa. Oh, that was fun. Sweet Melissa. So one more song. You know, we lost Dickie Betts. What a loss. The great guitarist of the Allman Brothers. Just the other day. Guess he was 80 years old. But he wrote this song. See if I can pull it off. I think Don likes this song. He told me he did earlier. Probably lying to me.
Yeah, we used to do it in Tumbleweed.
There you go.
Me and Robert played all those parts, you know, all those harmony guitar parts.
Oh Lord, I was born a rambling man, trying to make a living and doing the best best I can. When it's time for leaving, well, I hope you'll understand that I was born a rambling man. My father was a gambler down in Georgia. Well, he wound up on the wrong end of a gun. And I was born in the back seat of a Greyhound bus, rolling down Highway 41. Lord, I was born a rambling man, trying to make a living and doing the best I can. Oh, when it's time for leaving, well, I hope you'll understand that I was born a rambling man. Here comes a rambling man. Well, I'm headed down to New Orleans this morning. I'm leaving out of Nashville, Tennessee. Oh, they're always having a good time on the bayou, Lord. And them Delta women, they think the world of me. Oh, Lord, I was born a rambling man, trying to make a living and do the best I can. And when it's time for leaving, I hope you'll understand that I was born a rambling man. Oh Lord, I was born a rambling man. 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 Big finish. Thank you, guys.
Mr. Fred
That was
Hargrove,
fun.
ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Fred, for coming
Thanks so
down.
much for having me, Don. Thank you very much.
Our pleasure, man. Thanks for coming and opening the show and getting us rolling here tonight. And,
George, you're going to really enjoy him. He's wonderful. I heard him in the warm up, and wow, he's got some great music and a very good instrumentalist. So get ready.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a treat to have George with us. I mean, I've been listening to his music here. I've heard it for many years. He goes way back to way back in the early days of the Texas singer-songwriter scene when Guy Clark and Townes Van Zandt were first making their appearance and stuff, and so he can testify to the whole course of it all, you know. And but his songs are just so great and so warm and so full of real life and so full of hope. I don't know, really exceptional songwriter, and of course he can sing and play with the best of them. So let's enjoy it. Would you please welcome George Ensle.
Thank you, Fred. How's everybody doing? All right. Pretty good. Pretty good beginning to things. Well, all I got to do is find my thumb pick and we'll be in business. You want me to pick along, or you want me to leave you alone for a while? Why don't you
Wouldn't you pick along with me? Twist my arm. I want to find my thumb pick, but well, my fingers are so dry I can't get my finger picks.
Let me go grab my thumb pick. I'll be right back.
Do it on the big shows, you know. I mean, no, just kidding. No, you gotta have your picks, you know. I do have some extras, George, if you need them. But thumb picks are a very individual thing because thumbs are all different, you know. So it's like it's gotta work, you know. George does a lot of work with some amazing organizations that are using music for some wonderful things. Like he's very involved in the soldier songs, writing songs with veterans to help them process what they've gone through and to help them heal up from that. And he's got some amazing stories about that. He's also been doing songs with some young people with some disabilities and stuff, and just telling some remarkable stories about that. He gave me, in fact, he got a CD of songs that they have put out from some of these young folks that he's helped sort of co-write and help shepherd through the songwriting process. It's just amazing stuff you're doing there, brother.
Thank you. Nice hat.
What's that?
Nice hat.
It is a nice hat, you know? I mean, what do you think? Does that work or not? I mean, I don't know. So used to seeing my bald head just kind of glowing there in the light.
In every life, there comes a time to leave everything and nothing behind. You're too young to go, but you're too old to stay. So you're on your way, on your way to find your wings and the songs that you were born to sing. But on your way, remember you always have a home to come back to. Yeah, with every step you'll learn to dance to the rhythm of life. If you just take the chance, keep the wind at your back now and the sun on your face, then you're on your way, on your way to find who you are is both near and far. Hitch your wagon to a star, and on your way, remember you always have a home to come back to. So pack your new dreams in your old car. Keep on believing, no matter where you are, you're where you belong. So seize the day. And be on your way to play your part. Seek the path that speaks to your heart, and on your way, remember you always have Get your wheels a rolling. Get your wheels a rolling. All right. Thank you. Yeah, that sounds great. Don's never heard any of this material, so, but being the consummate player that he is, and producer and record mogul for Howlin' Dog, I'm sure you run into folks like this gentleman I wrote this song for, living on the sofa circuit. They run into the sun, they stand out in the rain, a glutton for punishment, a friend of pain. They stay a little too high, a little too long, and a little too lost most times to find their way back home. Black sheep, the prodigal is always on the run, living in the moment and dying to have fun, and also chasing rainbows and dancing their own dance. Black sheep always need a second chance. You know they're always calling in the middle of the night. They're always breaking down, thinking you can make it right. Their love is bittersweet, they're loyal to the end. They're their own worst enemy and your best friend. Black sheep, the prodigal always on the run. They're living in the moment and they're dying to have fun, and also chasing rainbows and dancing their own dance. Black sheep always need a second chance. When they get back on their feet, that's when they fall from grace. When they get it all planned out, that's when they lose their place. Sometimes they look a lot like the likes of you and me, taking all those wrong roads, just trying to be free. Black sheep, prodigal always on the run, living in the moment. Man, they're dying to have fun, and also chasing rainbows. They're dancing their own dance. Black sheep always need, those black sheep need a second chance.
What a song, man. God.
Only as good as the sum of the
A whole
parts.
bunch of them.
Well, I made a mistake a while back. I
watch the news. You want to ruin things for a good while. But I kind of had an epiphany, it was like all this polarization, and all this finger pointing, and I was thinking, I thought our country was founded on this concept that had never been proposed before, and that was agreeing to disagree. Remember that? Yeah, well. So rather than pointing any fingers at anybody else, I thought, well, I'm going to start with number one here and see if I can fix me. That's going to keep me plenty busy. B flat, sir. Now there's some things I'd like to change about myself. I've got problems I can't blame on anybody else. I could do the work, make the world a little better place. Changing the big picture, little acts of faith. I'm gonna spread a little sunshine, spend a little more time showing sweet mercy and grace. And find a way to make somebody's day, put a smile on a stranger's face. I'm gonna spend more time with the young and old ones and walk in my neighbor's shoes. And I'm gonna be the change I wanna see. Be a better me. Gonna be a better me. Now there's a lot of good deeds I could do that aren't that hard. There's a lot of good seeds I could sow right in my own backyard. I could walk the walk, talk the talk for the greater good. Time is short, it's up to me to do everything I should. Gonna share my blessings with those who have less and live with a bigger heart. Gonna make a bigger difference in the long run by believing from the start. We're all God's children trying to find our way. Gonna be that light in the dark. I'm gonna be the change I wanna see. Yeah, I'm gonna try and be a better me. Better me. I'm gonna love out loud, and let love be what living's all about. But a concept. Gonna hug a little longer and a little stronger, show my family how much I care. Stop and smell the flowers and laugh a little louder and say a little better prayer. Look to the future and honor the past while celebrating every day. Being the change I want to see. Being a better me. Yeah, I'm gonna try to be a better me. I'm trying. Being a better me. Thank you. Well, it's maybe cold outside, but it's awful warm in here. Thanks to y'all. Big Colorado welcome, I tell you. My wife and I are gappers. Y'all know what gappers are? Grandparents as parents. Quite a few of us out there, actually. So we have 2 rules, the do's and the don'ts. Do what Grandma says. Don't touch Grandpa's things. didn't last very long, but it was a good try. We thought we'd raise a free-range grandkids, and actually they kind of turned out to be feral, but we love them. Had to go back and learn all the old nursery rhymes. Remember this one? In a Greyhound station, a suitcase by her side, she just turned 18 years old. Daddy's little girl met a boy who did her wrong. Now she's starting to show. But there's a place she can go to raise her baby boy, where he can feel the love she'd always known. I asked where she was going, as teardrops filled her eyes. She said, I'm trying to get back home. Home family pictures hanging on the walls, where you play outside till you hear your mama call, climbing fences and running free. Smell of honeysuckle in the evening breeze. Home, home. In his camel fatigues on the shoulder of the road, he'd just turned 24. He shipped out a country boy, came back a fighting man. The only enemy he has left in the war. But he's heading to a place where he knows he'll be safe, to try and find the innocence he'd known. And his old bedroom is waiting, so he's holding a sign that says, trying to get back home. Home, Mama's cooking, drifting through the back door screen, and Daddy in his easy chair, and Grandma on the front porch swing. Fireflies dancing to a cricket sound. Peaceful moonlight wraps the love all around. Home, home. The bus driver pulled over, told him climb on in. He'd been infantry in a Vietnam vet. And when he saw that 1,000-yard stare in that young man's eyes, he knew he'd seen some things that he had to forget. The only vacant seat on that bus was down the aisle, next to that young girl, all alone. He asked where she was going. She told him with a smile, well, I'm on my way back home. How about you?
What a song.
Thank you.
What a song.
pretty good accompanist. Anybody ever tell you that?
Just try to make my mistakes as quiet as possible, that's all.
This is called a Fender, believe it or not. Looks more like a bumper to me, but this is a true story. It happened to my brother. He's much older than I. He was 12 years older than I am. And they were living in Syracuse, New York. Just almost as cold as Alamosa, but not quite. And
I was telling George that he was asking, well, you know, what's Alamosa known for? I says, well, back when I was growing up, you know, back in the 70s, it was known as frequently, or at least fairly often, the coldest place in the lower 48 states. And he said, how cold does it get? I said, oh, 30 or 40 below sometimes. And I'm not sure he believed me, but
I looked it up.
some people can testify. Some people here can testify to that.
I asked my mom about my brother. What was he like when he was a little kid? She said, well, he liked to stretch the truth. He liked to bend the rules. When he got older, he became a lawyer. Johnny was skipping school that frozen winter's morn. If he'd have played it straight, well, he'd be safe and warm in the little country schoolhouse. But the lesson learned that day would come from one he'd least expect would ever know the way. The bridge was all iced over and the railing was gone. Johnny slipped off, flew down into the frozen pond. The morning stillness shattered with a crashing sound. He broke through the ice like a rock went sinking down. He kicked his way back to the top, started to shout, help! Somebody save me! Trying to claw his way out, but the ice just broke away, and his legs turned to stone. The freezing water soaked his clothes and froze into the bone. Just then a passerby showed up on the bridge, saw the situation, he thought of all the risks. Well, if I tried to save him, I might drown myself. How I wish this burden would fall on someone else. Then out from underneath the bridge came Jake the town wino. He walked into the pond as Johnny slipped below. He moved through the icy waters, reaching out his hand, snatching Johnny from the jaws of death, watched by the other man. Jake wrapped Johnny in his blanket, and he carried him back home like a ragged old Boo Radley, stumbling but strong. The father met him at the door and took his shivering child from a most unlikely savior with a toothless smile. Dad offered Jake his money for saving his son's life. He said, no, thank you, sir. I just try to do what's right in the eyes of the Lord. As they watched him walk away, he's an angel with a broken wing, Johnny heard his father say. So Johnny learned mercy's lesson from the one they call the fool. The passerby learned about living out the golden rule. And a small town country barkeep learned a dad will pay to see. From now on, Jake the hero always drinks for free. Johnny was skipping school that frozen winter's morn. If he'd have played it straight, well, he'd be safe and warm in a little country schoolhouse. But the lesson learned that day would come from one he'd least expect would ever know the way. I think it'd be easier to name the instruments you don't play than the ones you do. This is my Roger Miller meets Mark Twain song. Fun song, as you can imagine. Roger Miller was quite a character, you know. You'd have to be to write those songs he wrote. A friend of mine told me that Freddie Powers, he said, you know, Roger Miller got stopped one time for weaving on the highway, and when the state trooper came over and knocked on his window, he rolled it down, and he said, Roger Miller, he said, can I see your driver's license? And Roger Miller said, can I play with your gun? That's it. On the courthouse square in the summertime, shade of a white oak tree, the old men sat on benches, living history, whittling and spitting tobacco juice into coffee cans, solving the problems of the world as only old men can. At the cafe across the street, I told the waitress them men seemed to be the picture of contentment, living out an old man's dream. She laughed and said it wasn't always that way, now you might not believe, but just a while back, all that sat on them benches was white oak leaves. See how it all happened when some ladies, they got together after church, decided to clean up the courthouse square, so they went straight to work on a plan to ban spitting and whittling. They's gonna put up signs, no whittling or spitting, $100 fine. Well, the signs went up, the men went home till their wives started to shout, you're underfoot and in the way, and kicked their sorry spitting cans out. The old men had nowhere to go where they might congregate. The barber shop was way too small and it was too loud for this cafe. So they met down at Lucy's bar, started drinking right at 10, playing dominoes and checkers till the alcohol kicked in. Then they'd fight about whose turn it was and called each other cheats. Lucy called their wives and said, come get them or I'm calling the police. No one knows where those signs went. They disappeared overnight. Lester said he saw some old ladies pulling them up in the courthouse light. Sure enough, the next day, them old men was back again, sitting on them benches, spitting and whittling. Now the moral to this story and the message in this song is that sometimes there are some things that's best just left alone, like feral hogs, sleeping dogs, snakes, and mama hens, and old men sitting on the courthouse square, spitting and whittling. Well, let's see. We'll do a couple more here. As I said earlier, I'm blessed to be raising my granddaughters with my wife, and started out, you know, when they're little, they really think you know everything, and now that there's teenagers in the group, well, oh boy. My youngest I wrote this song for is now a teenager, and I go to her for advice now. It saves a lot of time, really. I thought we ought to have a dog, so we adopted this Labrador underachiever, Lily. But she couldn't learn just basic commands like sit. And I thought, what's wrong with this dog? Sit, she won't sit. My granddaughter says, you know, Grandpa, we live in a town that's more than 60% Hispanic. Siéntese. She sat right down. I told her the other day she was using a lot of double negatives. I said, you know, double negatives make a positive. Don't you understand that? And there's no such thing as a double positive making a negative. She said, yeah, right. May you always show the way, live by the golden rule, and be kind to others who are not kind to you. May you live with no regrets and never miss a chance to tell someone you love them or ask someone to dance. May you grow up straight and strong like a cottonwood tree and shine like a wildfly for all the world to see. Feel the freedom of the wind and the warmth of a home. Have the laughter of a best friend and sacred time alone. Now your dreams are waiting. Say your prayers and close your eyes. May you one day see them all come true, and always know the world's a better place because of who you are. And that the best part of me is you. May you know the old man in the moon and wished upon the stars. May your eyes be filled with wonder from fireflies in a jar. May you hear the red-tail cry and hear the white wings sing, and know there's a reason why we're blessed with all these things. May you always listen to your heart when it's time to make a choice. When your plans all fall apart, hear his still small voice that says, keep believing, love will find a way, and at the darkest night will find the light of day. Now your dreams are waiting. Say your prayers,
close your eyes. May you one day see them all come true, and always know the world's a better place because of who you are, and that the best part of me is you. Thank you. How's your banjo sound in G? Particularly good. This was a concept CD that I put together called A Movie and Song. I always looked at songs as being small movies, and I thought, well, why not put a bunch of them together and make a big movie, right? So that's what I did. It's called Town Sundown. This is a couple of the characters in this movie. Of course, it's about a country singer, kid that grows up in a small town and can't wait to get out of town. And as soon as he graduates from high school, he splits. But he comes back to bury his grandpa. The town looks a lot different 10 years later. This is a couple of the folks that raised him. I've got a lot of westerns. Anybody here old enough to remember watching westerns Saturday morning, black and white westerns? Being from Houston, you know, I naturally had to ride a horse. So, but the last time I rode a horse was back then when I was, well, anyway. I thought I was doing real well, and then it reached a point where it was about ready to buck me off, and I thought I was gonna wind up getting kicked off, and then the store manager unplugged it. Grandma's apron smelled like bleach, and Martha White flowers on the time she'd reach down into the pocket and pull out a treat, saying I'd buy a little something sweet. Might be a sugar cookie or a piece of fudge. I could feel the warmth, I could feel the love. Grandma baked into every batch, wearing that apron starting from scratch. Well, it was all cotton, soft and warm. She used to let me use it for my Superman cape. Held me behind it when it thunderstormed. Grandma's apron had power. Grandma's apron had grace. Now Grandpa's vest was corduroy. We'd watch old westerns in his lazy boy. He'd reach in the pocket and pull out a toy, saying my sidekick's been a good boy. Well, it might be a marble like the eye of a cat, or a whistle from a box of Cracker Jacks. That vest held his sweet surprises, came with a wink from his twinkling eye. He used to let me wear it when I rode my stick horse pony. I was chasing down outlaws, badge on my chest. And when we took naps in his lazy boy, Grandpa's vest knew the cowboy way. Grandpa's vest knew tenderness.
came time to divide their things. Brother wanted the car, sister wanted the rings. I said, I want the way they loved and blessed. Give me grandma's apron and grandpa's vest. Now, my lady, where's grandma's apron? Baking sugar cookies when the grandkids come. I wear grandpa's vest in my lazy boy with the grandkids on my lap. I pulled out a toy while we're watching Gene and Roy. Hop along, Cisco Kid, the Lone Ranger, wagon train, Cheyenne, Rawhide, Half Gun Will Travel, Wanted Dead or Alive, the Rifleman, the Rebel, Maverick, Lawman, Lash LaRue, and the Duke.
George Ensle, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to take a break?
Yeah, let's take a break.
All right. We're going to take a little break, and, you can get your chocolate chip cookies and red wine, mix them together, whatever you want. George has got a bunch of merchandise back there. You can sell you a shirt or a CD and who knows what else. So check that out and, visit amongst yourselves, and we'll be back for some more mighty fine music. Thank you for those beautiful songs, man. I tell you.
So I had mentioned the cottonwood tree in my lullaby song. It was my granddaughter and my favorite tree when she was just a little fella. We used to go out on the back deck, and we had this giant cottonwood tree, and I told her, that's God's tree, you know. You can hear him talking every time the wind blows. Even the slightest breeze, you know, the cottonwood tree would shimmer. So I thought I might try to find a cottonwood tree now that I'm up in Alamosa. That means cottonwood, right? Yep. So if anybody's got a cottonwood tree they'd like to give me to take back home, I just need one, maybe that small. Because I can't find it in Texas. They're a weed, you know. They're like a hackberry. They're a trash tree, I guess, because people don't have any class there, really. I guess all that cotton kind of bothers people. It doesn't bother me. But anyway, if there's any nursery men or women out there that have a cottonwood tree they'd sell me that I could cart back home to Texas, I'd appreciate it. We'll talk later. I had a gentleman ask me to play this song, and I'd planned on playing it next anyway, so I like when that happens. It's a song I wrote with my dear friend and the late, great Mr. Richard Dobson. I asked for strength and I got trouble to get me straight and strong. I asked for wisdom and I got problems, taught me right from wrong. I asked for courage and I got dangers to get me through my fears. I asked for answers, I got silence that taught me how to hear. I asked for love and I got strangers that needed a helping hand. I asked for mercy and I got an old friend that needed another chance. I asked for beauty and I got to see the world through the eyes of a child. I asked for understanding and got to see an old one smile. Well, I got the world in a raindrop and the promise in a seed. I got all I wanted when I got all I need. When I asked for years, I got moments instead. When I asked for a feast, I got my daily bread. I asked for wealth and I got work and the hands to make my pay.
I got a lady stands beside me all the way. I got the world in a raindrop and the promise in a sea. I got all I wanted when I got all I need. I got all I wanted when I got all I need.
What a song, Lordy, what a song, man. Thank you.
Thank you. Richard Dobson wrote quite a few great songs. I was real blessed to be able to collaborate with him on that. So I have this hack that I use on myself when I'm driving home from a gig, especially out in the hill country in Texas, and there's a whole lot of deer, and it's 2 o'clock in the morning after a show, and I can only drive 55 miles an hour because of all the deer, and I'm starting to nod off. So I have this hack, and it's giving myself a conundrum, something I can't. I might be working on the second verse to a song. Just some unanswerable thing, that'll keep me awake and keep me thinking. And on this particular night, I had the ultimate conundrum. Why am I doing this? So it got me home, and I got a song out of it too. But I had to do some serious introspection. It was like, I'm so old. When I go out on tour, my wife puts out a silver alert. I can feel my wheels rolling. I'm going out again. I'm taking the singer's ride. I know I'll miss my loved ones gathered by my side, but I know this road will take me right where I belong. Answering the calling, that's all in the songs. Songs are love letters to the world. They help us laugh, cry, and dance. They're the stuff dreams are made of, and why we give it one more chance. They're the feeling in a melody that sets us free and keeps us strong. So if you're looking for a way to carry on, man, it's all in the song. Songs are little prayers made to celebrate all we have to
share, written with the language of the heart and the rhythm in our souls. They touch us where we live, in crowded bars and little churches by the road, where the losers and the winners, saints and sinners all sing along with one another, sisters and brothers, yeah, it's all in the song. I can feel my wheels rolling, I'm going out again, taking the singer's ride. Ain't he something? Woo. My wife and I have been together 48 years. Well, not really together. We have our differences sometimes. We've stuck by each other 48 years. I told her the other day, I said, I love you so much. If you ever leave me, I'm going with you. But she really made me mad. She makes me mad every once in a while. She said I was acting childish, and I told her she had to get out of my fort. In the deep and darkest night, there's a star shining bright, giving hope to a world that's in need of the light. And there's a light I can see that sings my sweet dreams to life. It's the light that shines for me in the deep wells of her eyes. In the river, winding through sun-dappled trees, a sacred peace calls lost souls to come home to a world in harmony. And there's a peace I can see beside still waters beneath blue skies. It's the peace that calls to me from the deep wells of her eyes. There's a love from above, deeper than we'll ever know. It's the love that teaches us forgiveness we must show. And there's a love
world I can see that keeps walking by my side. It's the love that waits for me in the deep wells of her eyes. Hey, baby. Woo! A little edutainment here. My name is Bigfoot Wallace. My brother died at Goliad. I come west of Texas. I was fighting mad. Gonna shoot old Santa Ana right between the eyes to avenge my brother's murder. I wouldn't be denied. Then in 1842, when I got my chance, we was captured in the town of Mir down on the Rio Grande. We escaped into the desert, but surrendered in the end. They played El Gallo as they lined up our men. Beans from a clay jar, one by one we reached inside. Draw a white bean and you lived, draw a black bean and you died. Well, some men wrote their mothers, some men wrote their wives. I guess my luck was running strong, the bean I drew was white. 1 in 10 drew black beans and faced the firing squad. It was 17 against the wall, prepared to meet their God. Beans from a clay jar, one by one we reached inside. Draw a white bean and you live, a black bean and you die. After that I cleaned out horse thieves coming up from Mexico. I drove a stage through Comanche country all the way to El Paso. And I got some revenge in the Mexican-American War. And the one who held the clay jar tried to even up the score. Beans from a clay jar, one by one reached inside. A white bean and you live, a black bean and you die. I was a Texas Ranger, and I wore that badge with pride. And the town of Bigfoot, Texas, is where I now reside. People come from miles around to hear about my life. I'd not be here to tell it, but the bean I drew was white. My name is Bigfoot Wallace. My brother died at Goliad. I come west of Texas. I was fighting mad. True story.
Well, they're all true, really, mostly. But you know what John Steinbeck said? Just because it doesn't necessarily happen doesn't necessarily mean that it isn't true. I look for signs. Try to keep my head up instead of keeping my head down. You're not going to see a lot of stuff looking down, except your feet. And this particular song was inspired by a physical sign that I saw on the streets of Austin, Texas. It's kind of an unfair key, isn't it? G sharp. We have homelessness is everywhere, and you know, I thought about it a little bit, and you know, I thought, what can we do? You know, how can we make a difference? What can we give these people? And I thought, well, I'm going to do the best I can to give them dignity. And the one thing we all need. He was a street corner man, with a sign in his hand, smiling in his tattered old coat. As I drove on by from the corner of my eye, I saw on that sign what he wrote. $1.65, God bless. I circled the block. I had to stop and do what I could for that man. I never found out what that sign was about. Cars kept honking as he reached out his hand. For $1.65, just $1.65. Might be what it takes to get rid of his shakes. It's cold living under a bridge. It might be all he lacks to take a Greyhound back home to his wife and kids. Now he's got that $1.65. Amen. This next song came about by seeing another sign, but it was kind of a different situation. I was on my way to play a church, a cowboy church. I played a lot of cowboy churches in it. And I was pulling out of the pulling out of town. I hit this red light. I had to stop it. And when I did, I saw this guy. This is like 7 o'clock in the morning. I saw this character walking across the crosswalk there while I was stopped, and it was pretty much just me and him. And he looked really bedraggled, and he looked really seriously sort of strange, and like he hadn't slept in a while, and kind of like a scarecrow. I thought, wow, this guy looks like a scarecrow. And as he was walking across the street, he turned and looked at me with these eyes that just looked right through me, and man, that guy looks like a scarecrow. So I went on through the light, and I went on down the road, and I turned left on the Devil's Backbone Road, which is just outside of San Marcos. I couldn't get that guy out of my mind. Now, before you get to the Devil's Backbone, there's a road called Purgatory Road that intersects it. You can't make this stuff up. Just past the T, where Purgatory Road ran into the Devil's Backbone Road, I looked over to the left and I saw this scarecrow in the garden. And I said, okay, I'll write the song. Scarecrow, scarecrow, living in the middle of the garden. Scarecrow, scarecrow, always shifting shapes. Scarecrow, scarecrow, first you're the fruit, your garden. Scarecrow, scarecrow, next minute you're the snake. In the dead of night with a lightning strike, you look like a crucifix, but your garden is a graveyard. On each tombstone 666. Scarecrow, scarecrow, I'm on to your game. Scarecrow, scarecrow, you're just a stick man in the rain. Scarecrow, scarecrow, I see you on the street. Scarecrow, scarecrow, I know your twisted smile. Scarecrow, scarecrow, I see you on the screen. Scarecrow, scarecrow, staring at my child. In the dead of night, with a lightning strike, you look like a crucifix, but your garden is a graveyard. On each tombstone 666. Scarecrow, scarecrow, your tricks are all in vain. Scarecrow, scarecrow, you're just a stick man in the rain. You're just a stick man in the rain. Just a stick man in the rain.
Cool, man, cool.
My wife finally, and I finally found a place in the country. And we just love it. And I wanted to write a psalm. I wanted to write a love song to God and thanking Him for the beautiful place. And being up here in this part of the world is, y'all have a whole lot to be thankful for too, I know. Your soft grass beneath my feet, in the meadow by the creek. You're the wind in my hair and the sun on my cheek. You're the bird softly singing the melody of spring. All creation shares your glory, of your beauty. I will sing of your beauty. I will sing. You're a moonrise on a mountain and a sunrise on the shore. Your autumn leaves filling the trees on a hillside, and what is more, you're the whispering of the snowflakes and the singing of the rain. And while I have a voice, I will sing this sweet refrain. I will sing this sweet refrain. Oh, you are the mighty bison and fragile butterfly, side by side on a prairie where wildflowers reach the sky. You're the whale and the dolphin dancing on a deep blue sea. I pray I may show enough love for these things you give to me. All these things you give to me. This man has never heard my songs before. What do you think? Don Richmond. Man.
Thank you,
Oh,
George.
man. You are something. You're one of a kind. There's no question about that. Howlin' Dog Records.
I just get to float along on these gorgeous songs, man. I mean, it's like, Lordy.
Hey. You want to hear my new joke? Okay, so these two old couples are walking along. The women are walking in front of the men. And This is a joke out of the new movie that I'm in called Buck Alamo, by the way, which I'm supposed to tell everybody about, but anyway. I played myself in the movie, a rich and famous, well-known singer-songwriter. Why do people laugh every time I say that? Bruce Dern plays the voice of death in this movie. It's really a cool movie. I've got 5 songs in the movie. BuckAlamo.com. Check it out. But the main character, Sonny Carl Davis, plays Buck Alamo. We're walking out to this campfire scene, and he's telling this joke, and he says, "There's 2 couples, these old couples, and the women are walking in front of the men." And this old boy says, "Man, I ate at the best restaurant last night." He said, "What was the name of it?" He says, "Well, the food was great. We had large portions. It was hot, fresh." "What was the name of the restaurant?" "The service was great. Parking was smooth, easy." "What was the name of the restaurant?" "Well, what's the name of that plant that has the flowers on it and the thorns?" "Rose?" "Yeah." "Hey, Rose, what was the name of that restaurant we went to last night?" Ain't that a good one? So true. All right, well, now, we'll dig a little deeper here. Uncle Jack always was a rounder. He drove a pickup Ford. He drank beers in Sears easy chairs reading Louis L'Amour. And I'd sleep on his sofa summer Saturday nights. And when I was with Uncle Jack, I felt a little more alive. Uncle Jack never was a wage slave. He was his own man, with his own recipe for living. He ran a hamburg stand. He had a sign that read, "Gone fishing." He never would be one to let work get in the way of us having some fun. The black sheep of the family now, sometimes late at night, he'd show up at our house a little bit too tight. Mama tuck him in on the sofa, and when she thought he was asleep, well, I'd watch her lean over and kiss him on the cheek. Uncle Jack never missed my birthday. He'd always come around with a brand new crisp $5 bill he got from the bank downtown. He'd say, "I'll arm wrestle you for it." He'd always let me win. And he'd say, "Maybe next time," with a wink and a grin. And Uncle Jack always played catch with me when no one else had time. Taught me how to throw a football, how to time a fishing line. He taught me how to sink the 8-ball and win it on the break. He'd say close only counts with horseshoes and hand grenades. You know, I never told a soul, but when I was a kid, and I'd spend the night with him, one thing he always did. After he tucked me in and thought I was asleep, he'd lean over that old sofa and kiss me on the cheek. Uncle Jack didn't grow old and in the way. He just moved down to the coast, where a man can dance, remember France, and do a little toasting. And I still go to see him every now and then, living by his wits and the grace of God. There'll be no change in him. Uncle Jack. Woo! Man, you're something. Well, I think Don might have mentioned that one of my passions these days is working with special needs communities and soldiers' songs and voices, which is a nonprofit started by Dustin Welch. We have ongoing songwriting workshops and retreats, and this particular song I wrote with my buddy Chuck Hawthorne, and because there's a lot of there's over 18 million veterans out there, but you don't really recognize them if they're not in their uniforms. He leaned his push broom against the wall and walked across the high school gym. He stepped up on the stage on Veterans Day, and all the kids started whispering. He stood silent as they read off the medals he'd earned in that war. Those kids never knew they had a hero sweeping up their floor. The unknown soldier, the quiet vet, with his unknown story we can't forget. Got a faded tattoo from a foreign shore, and some unknown wounds of war. Those hands that hold that push broom once held on to a gun. His feet once wore combat boots that never cut and run. Now sometimes he stands in the hallway with a 1,000-yard stare. When a school bus backfires, he's back over there. The unknown soldier, the quiet vet, this unknown story we can't forget. Got a faded tattoo from a foreign shore, and some unknown wounds of war. He saluted the flag while the homecoming queen sang the national anthem. He stepped down off the stage and walked back across the gym. The kids all stopped and stared, and a hush fell on that room as they watched him peacefully go back to pushing broom.
got a faded tattoo from a foreign shore and some unknown wound. Thank you. Thank them. Music's big medicine. If you know a vet, tell them to look up soldier songs and voices. It's very important. Okay, I'm gonna do one more. I gotta stand up for this one. It's a brand new song. Thanks again, y'all, and thanks to the Society Hall. And what you're doing here is it's important. It's really important to give the singer-songwriter a platform and ears to hear what it is that we do and dedicate ourselves to. It's a rare find to have a place that's Don has cultivated here. This rather small community, but with a big heart. Smell like WD-40 and Old Spice aftershave. His suburban sanctuary, the original man cave. It's where he kept his memories and where a lot of mine were made. At the end of his driveway, I spent my Saturdays in Grandpa's garage, where I learned about love between an old man and a kid, like an old dog and a pup. I got my life lessons sitting on the tailgate of his Dodge, and all the tools I needed in Grandpa's garage. It was a grand old man's museum, tacked up snapshots from the war. John 3:16 and a Polaroid of Grandma on the door. His workbench stood like a shrine for good. He taught the golden rule and how to measure twice and cut once. It was my church and school. It was Grandpa's garage where I learned about love between an old man and a kid, like an old dog and a pup. I got my life lessons sitting on the tailgate of his Dodge, and all the tools I needed in Grandpa's garage. Go, Don! Took the time to show me how to use my hands. Took the time to listen when I didn't understand. He could make things just like new when my world fell apart. He fixed my broken bike and my broken heart. In Grandpa's garage, where I learned about love between an old man and a kid, like an old dog and a pup. I got my life lessons sitting on the tailgate of the Dodge, and all the tools I needed in Grandpa's garage. Got all the tools I needed right there in Grandpa's garage.
George Ensle, ladies and gentlemen.
Don Richmond.
Now, if that wasn't a batch of great songs, I don't know what could be. Thank you, man.
Well, y'all standing up to leave? Are you standing? Okay, we'll do one more. How about that? I mean, I may not be back this way for a while. Even though, as Don said, I've got some merchandise back there. More importantly, I'd really like for y'all to put your email on that email list so that I can stay connected with you, because I think community is a whole lot more important than merchandise. Amen. This is inspired by one of my heroes, a little short lady. Her name was Mother Teresa. She said, "Every act of love is a work for peace. Every act of love is a work for peace. I'm gonna take these hands, gonna reach them out to the ones who've fallen, gonna lift them up to a place where they can see how much they really look like me. Gonna build a bridge to the other side, cross deep water and the great divide. Bridge of love, cross it today. Help my brothers and my sisters find a way. Gonna take these feet and walk their road by their side, carrying their load. I want to feed the hungry, I want to heal the hurt, and save the children. I want to do God's work. I want to build a bridge to the other side, cross deep water and the great divide. Bridge of love, cross it today. Help my brothers and my sisters find a way. I'm gonna take this voice and sing about bringing all those walls down to the ground. And when they're laying on their side, they'll make a bridge between all our lives. If we cross over those borders that separate mankind, we'll know peace when we show mercy. Don't you think it's time we build a bridge to the other side, cross deep water and the great divide. Oh, bridge of love, today. Help our brothers and our sisters find their way. A bridge of hope, cross it today. Help our brothers and our sisters find the way. And then one glad morning, when this life is over, I'll fly away to that home on God's celestial shore. I'll fly away. Oh, I'll fly away. Oh, I'll fly away in the morning when I die. Hallelujah, by and by. Oh, I'll fly away. Oh, when the shadows of this life have gone, oh, I'll fly away. Y'all help us out, come on. Like a bird from prison bars is flown. Oh, I'll fly away, oh glory, I'll fly away in the morning when I die. Hallelujah, by, by. Oh, I'll fly away. Don Richmond. Just a few more weary days and then I'll fly away to a home where joy will never end. I'll fly away, everybody. Oh, I'll fly away. I'll fly away in the morning when I die. Hallelujah, bye bye. Oh, I'll fly away when I die. Hallelujah. Can't hear you. Thank you.
George Ensle, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, man. Thanks for coming all the way up here to play for us. And thank you all for coming to Society Hall. We so appreciate you being here. Anytime you can make it, we'd love to have you in the house, and hope we'll see you again soon. Be well. Don't freeze to death out there. You know, it's April 27th. You got to be careful. So anyway, thanks again. Thank you, George.
Thanks, everybody.